Hello. Let's see if anybody comes in this live. Let me see if I can. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Maureen. Can you hear me? Hello. This is not a plan. Hey. Okay. I'm trying to go live from my phone for the first time. I usually do it on my laptop, but I'm trying it on my phone. So I didn't know how it was going to work. Oh, I was just seeing what folks was up to. Seeing what people are up to. Yeah, it finally like loaded on my phone, which is easier than pulling it up on my laptop. Except I'm not showing myself because I have a giant afro right now because I need to rebraid my hair. So hopefully this camera won't kick in. Hi, Carolyn. I'm not talking about anything. I was just going live just to try it out on my phone. I did put in the chat that I wanted to talk about the. I know. I'm so glad it's Friday. Glad it's Friday. I'm still really mixed up with the days of the week. I have been like that for the last year because I'm working from home. So I can't wait for August where I go back to the classroom. I can't wait. Are you tired? I'm not too bad. Somebody in my neighborhood is doing firecrackers and I'm like, is there a holiday? I know 4th of July is coming up, but y'all early. What you doing? They're doing fireworks. Now they know I will turn into a Karen real quick. They got 10 more minutes. Woo! Because God knows if it was my family, they would definitely call the cops. Hmm. I'm glad that you're back. I know. I mean, I haven't really been around. I know I got some I need to make some videos, but what happened is the world is opening back up, you know? You're at a nature camp. That's so great that camps are opening up again. Excuse me. That is really, really good. So I guess are they still trying to do like social distancing at the camp? That's good. No, I don't know what's going to happen with my YouTube page. I mean, I'm hoping to keep it going, but you know, life is getting back to normal for me as far as professionally. So, I'm going to be teaching quite a bit of classes starting in August. So, I don't know. I'm hoping to keep, I've never been a channel that uploaded every day. I haven't done that. Hi, Kay. Kay Tay. So I've never uploaded every day, but I try to upload like 3 videos a week. But I've noticed that since I've been getting back to my normal life, that that's slowing up. But I do have some videos I want to record. I would be leery too. I'm actually leery about going back into the classroom because I'm thinking, am I going to lecture with a mask on? That's going to be weird. But the way some of our classes are set up, the students are really far away from me. Like they sit up and I'm down, lecturing kind of, from a podium. But after the class is over, they usually like to talk. So I don't know. I have to go on the campuses and see what the situation is. Am I gonna have like a shield in front of the podium? I don't know. I should be fine. But I'm also very like interactive. Like I like to be in people's face too much. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll be okay. I mean, I guess a lot of teachers got through it. Because if you work with little kids, if you're anybody is a teacher, little kids want to hug you and touch you. So if they got through it, I can get through it dealing with grown-ups. But in a camp, the kids want to hug and stuff. Ugh. So what do y'all think about George Floyd's trial, Derek Chavez? Is it Chavez? Do you think he got enough time? 20, what did he get? 22 years? I was surprised he got 22 years, honestly. I thought they would give him 10 and he would do 3 or 5, maybe. I'm surprised they gave him 22 years. I don't trust that. They gave him 22 something. They gave him 22. I know he's going to appeal that case, appeal it. We'll see. I'm surprised they gave him 22 years. It's some trickery to that. I don't trust it. I was just thinking today, I'm like, damn, all you had to do was just stop. All you had to do was get off his neck. That's all you had to do. And you refused to do it. I don't think he'll do the 15, Leslie. He'll probably do, if they gave him 22, good behavior, he'll be isolated. He'll probably do 10. I knew that if they did in Minneapolis, it was going to burn. Oh, absolutely, it was going to burn. Absolutely, it was going to burn. And they knew that. But it wasn't a federal Was it a federal indictment? Because if it was a federal indictment, I think when you under federal indictments, you have to do all of the time. He probably would have been better off taking a plea bargain. Oh well, he would have been better off if he didn't keep his knee on his neck. Like the arrogance, like it was so many people telling him to stop, and he just wouldn't stop because he had that same behavior in other cases. So he got what he got, and he going to deal with whatever he got to deal with. Does anybody know what happened in Miami? Was that an apartment building that collapsed? I think they said like 100 people are still missing. All you had to do was let that man up. He got into a deep and to go with it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then the arrogance, when you watch the video, the arrogance of him looking around at all the people telling him to stop, and he refused to stop. Oh, right. It was a high rise condominiums. My God. Could you imagine just being in your house and then suddenly everything around you is crumbling? I know if you Google, I don't want to say it because then my GOOGLE is going to go off. But if you ask her what's going to happen in 2025 in Miami, ask your GOOGLE. And what she says is really crazy about what the prediction is for the weather. A predicted hurricane in 2025 is supposed to wipe out Miami. So I don't know. That's this prediction about what's going to happen in Florida in 2025. I don't know. No, it wasn't Fed. They said he has a case, but get it, get time. It's because his crimes are civil. Oh, it was a civil case. Oh, so you know he won't do all that time in a civil case. Mm-mm. The Fed. It's better to go with feds because their facilities are better, but you get more time versus, you know, just your regular run of the mill state prison. I know, but I want to talk about prisons and the prison system and how it's a business. It's modern day slavery, the prison systems. Oh, he won't get time for that. So he's gonna go to a state prison. Hmm. I don't know how they're gonna protect him in that state prison. Those COs will. They'll cover him. 15 years. Oh my God. 22 years. When all you had to do was get up. But you know what? It's so much deeper than just getting up because he wouldn't have done that to a white man. I promise you, he wouldn't have done that to a white man. So it has everything to do with the way he thought about the way he had saw no value in George Floyd's life. And that could have been George Jones, George Brown, George whoever. He there was no kind of value in that man's life. Nothing. And the most messed up part about it too is it was for something so stupid. It wasn't like you just saw this man murder somebody or whatever. You pulled him over because you thought he had a counterfeit money or whatever. Oh my God. I did hear that. Carolyn, I heard that they worked together at a nightclub or could have worked together at a nightclub as bouncers. Yeah, Leslie. Yeah, your son was nice to you and people that look like you. But when your son put that uniform on, he was a different person. He was a nightmare, a walking nightmare. Hi, Linda. Linda's got the front row. Yeah, your son was an absolute nightmare. Mare. What do you guys think about the Ronnie O'Neal case? I did a video on him, but I believe they just gave him life without parole. Ronnie O'Neal is the guy who killed his wife and his daughter, who was I believe she was handicapped, and brutally murdered them. And he appeared to be, I believe he was, psychotic the night of the murder. and even previous, weeks prior to that. Yeah, Leslie, I did a video on it. And only because it kept showing up in my suggested videos. So they were going live from the courtroom, and they were going live from the courtroom. And yeah, did you see how his hair looked? 3 years ago when the crime happened, he had waves. His hair was flat. Like 3 years later, that man has not combed his hair, and it's this giant dreadlocks, unkept dreadlocks, and he went to court like that. Yeah, I saw his face in court. I knew then that he was psychotic. But they didn't want they at first, they the judicial system is so racist and messed up. At first, they had a psychiatrist, several psychiatrists said that he was insane. And obviously the man is insane. He is psychotic, he is unstable, he is insane. But they didn't want to give him that diagnosis because they don't want him to plead insanity. You know what I mean? So he would go to a insane asylum or whatever for the rest of his life. They wanted to send him to state prison or, an execution. So then all of a sudden they said he wasn't insane when they know he is. It was too much. I think he got life without the possibility of parole. Life without the possibility of parole. He he should have got the death penalty. I mean, I don't know. I actually believe in the death penalty because some people, there's nothing you can do for them. I think his brain is so broken and so damaged, it's irreversible trauma and damage to his brain that he really is going to be a menace in the prison. They didn't want him to plead insanity. Absolutely not. When they clearly can see that that man is insane. I can see it from here, and I'm sitting in my living room. He ain't have to say a word between his face, the screaming, and that hair. I said, "Oh no, he's gone. He's a done deal." Yep. They did not want him. Most people of color don't get the plea to say, "Do you okay, Leslie? Thank you." There's that racism. I mean, you just find racism in every fabric of not only in the United States, but all over the world. I was reading some stuff about Australia and the systemic racism in Australia to the Albanese people and what they go through in Australia. And as a matter of fact, Australia didn't allow Black Americans or Africans into their country until I think 1970. It's disgusting. That man should have pled. He should have been able to plead insanity. He shouldn't be in a cell with anybody. He's going to hurt people in prison. They're going to kill him. Because if they're claiming he doesn't have a mental illness, that means they're not going to medicate him. So he's going to walk around in these delusions and psychosis and try to kill everybody around him. Yes, Linda, Australia is very racist. Very racist. Hi, Brooklyn. Please hit the thumbs up for my live. Thank you. Australia is super racist. Yeah. The Albanese. How do you say it? Albanese or something like that? I can't say it. But the people who live there, they're black, but they got curly hair, and they live out in the woods or you know, out in the outs um of Australia, out in the woods, out in the they just live out there. I think they live in the cities and stuff now too, but yeah, they treat them like crap for 24 hours. Good God. They'll probably kill him. Wow. Who's going to be in the cell for 24 hours? George Floyd's murderer or Ronnie O'Neal? Ronnie, both of them need to be. Hi, Tamika. Oh, Tamika, I watched that video. Tamika sent me a video about childhood dementia. Wow. Wow. Tamika, they definitely look like they had dementia, these children. Oh my goodness. Wow. Ronnie, yeah, Ronnie needs to be alone. And that 1 hour that they let him go out in the yard, his ass need to be out there by himself. Let him play in the dirt out in the yard by his damn self. Now, here's a funny thing about that trial with Ronnie O'Neal. Now, you know, Ronnie, he attempted to murder his son, who was 8 years old at the time. His son is now 11. Why is his son living with the detective that was on the case? Why didn't his mom's family adopt him? The detective that was on the murder case adopted Ronnie O'Neal's son. I wish somebody could tell me why. Lord, I want to know why. Yes, man, I had no idea that was even a thing. Oh my God, I didn't either. Tamika, I had no. I'm gonna do some more research on that. I'm definitely going because I do a lecture on dementia and Alzheimer's. Now I've heard of dementia. I know of a case of a lady at 28 who got Alzheimer's, and at the time she got Alzheimer's, she was pregnant. So I've heard of it in the 20s, early 30s, but a 10-year-old, a 8-year-old with dementia, wow. But I know of a case of a lady who was in her early 30s or late 20s, and she was pregnant at the time that she developed Alzheimer's. She didn't know that. She didn't even know what pregnancy was. She didn't know about like that she had the when she gave birth to the baby. She didn't remember it. Yeah. So I know of a case like that because I talk about it in a lecture that I do. But those kids that the video you showed me was they were young. Ugh. Once the brain becomes ill or damaged, it you just never know what limitations will come from it. You know, you can get a lesion on your brain and lose your ability to walk or talk or whatever. The brain is the most important organ in the body because it controls everything. Ronnie will be in a regular prison with regular ugh, oh God, Lord, Ronnie. I hope they medicate him because if they don't medicate him and he go in like he was in the courtroom, he gonna be trying to kill everybody because the voices are gonna tell him that people are trying to kill him. So he's gonna try to kill them first. I mean, please. I mean, 56%, I just made that number up, but a lot of prisoners are mentally ill, which is why they have so much trouble, you know, within the prison systems because they're untreated and over medicated or not medicated enough. So terrible. But I don't know why Ronnie O'Neal's son was adopted by this man, the detective. I don't know because the Ronnie O'Neal's wife, her family, her mom, and I think her sister came and spoke at the end of the trial. Some of them do deserve to be with him. He gonna drive them nuts. The first of all, looking at his hair, I wouldn't even say anything to him. I would not say one word to him, and Lord knows I would not want to be his cellmate. Oh Lord. Mm, 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 mm. He's been in prison for the last 3 years, so they didn't mention that he had been involved in anything. Oh yeah, I guess he will be on death row. I think he'll be on death row. He should be. No, Linda, yes. The little boy has been adopted by the lead, a white man and his wife, the lead detective on the case. Why? Even Ronnie O'Neal's father came and testified that, Ronnie was a mess and delusional and psychotic, the days leading to the murder. But the fact that they even let Ronnie O'Neal testify, I mean, defend himself, just shows you the blatant racism because you knew that man was out of his mind. You knew that man. Yeah, I murdered Kiana, but she tried to kill me. Like, come on. If he was sentenced to life, that's not death row. Nope, that's not. Nope. So they're just gonna let him just spend the next 50 years in prison. Oh God. What a waste. What a waste. The man is gone. If they open up his mind now, he has his brain is gone. That man don't have no conscience. He probably got lesions all over his brain. His brain is done. It's decayed. I don't believe any amount of medication. Medication will just help to relax him and sedate him. And that's what he needs to be sedated. He's gone. So many spaces and tunnels throughout that brain. Ugh. His brain is a done deal. I mean, when they look at the brains of people who are serial killers, it's so distinctive. They miss so many parts. Like, it's just a damaged brain, and you can see it. Ugh, just a waste. Oh my God. Yeah, but I don't know what's going. Even with George Floyd's with that guy, we're gonna have to keep you. Everyone's gonna have to keep watching it because I can see in 2 years they'll try to bring him up for parole. From Do you know how lesions form on the brain? What causes the damage? Alcohol, drugs, stress, genetics, chemical imbalance can cause those lesions, like cancer. I need to know, Linda. I really want to know. That is so odd to me. Like her mom looked like she was probably in her 50s. Like why wouldn't you take your grandson? Now the only thing I was thinking, did they not want to take him because I don't know. Most people don't think like that. Genetically, is he gonna end up like his father and you ain't trying to deal with that? Hi, Joy. Yeah, about 10 years ago, he would end up yeah, 10 years he will be up for parole. I think we got to watch it. I think they might try that shit even earlier, 3 years, 4 years, and bring him up for parole. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, did nobody in the family want to take Ronnie Jr. because they're afraid he might end up like his daddy? You know what I'm saying? He probably look like him, talk like him. Mm. Let me tell you, I was a foster mom for 10 years, and I gotta tell you, if they would have called me at that time when I was fostering and said, we got this, oh God, we got this little boy, he 8 years old, his dad is, up for murder, and I knew the story. Oh, I'd be like, mm, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Knowing me, I'd be like, I'll take them. I got them. I don't know. Yeah, the grandparents, yes, both grandparents. Ronnie's dad came to court, and so did I think her name is Kiana, the mother, the deceased. Her mother and her sister and other family members came and did a witness statement. Yeah, I know, Carolyn. It's no way I would have let him go with the detective from the case. No way. No way. I don't know why I don't know. I don't know. I probably would have taken him. Joy. I mean, sure, I would have slept with one eye open. I'm just kidding. I definitely would have had him in a lot of therapy. A lot. He would have definitely been going through because of the trauma. I mean, Ronnie stabbed him and then set him on fire. My God. And then lost your mom and your baby sister and basically your whole family because they let you go live with the lead detective from the case. I don't understand. Now I'm nosy, so I really need to know why in the hell did y'all let Ronnie Jr. go and live with the lead detective from the case? The baby boy, he's lost enough, and now he's lost all of y'all, the whole family. Well, of course, it could be an open adoption, but it's just the point. Why? Wonder if he said he didn't want to go with the grandparents. They didn't protect him before. Well, I'm thinking he probably didn't want to go with Ronnie's daddy because maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have a wife. Maybe he don't have a place to take him. I don't know. But he was 8 years old, so like a little kid wouldn't. I don't see them. I don't think he would blame the family. I don't know. He's innocent. He's innocent, but honey, genetics are genetics. Lord have mercy. Woohoo! It's that battle, nature versus nurture. It doesn't mean Ronnie Jr. is gonna, be like his father. God willing, he will not develop that type of mental illness that his father has. I know I would definitely change his name. Oh, that would have been the first thing. He would no longer be Ronnie. Mm-mm. Nope. I would change his name. Well, he got adopted, so his last name is probably changed, but I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why that family didn't take him in. He lost his mom. Oh God. And the sister, I think she has cerebral palsy. She was bedridden. The little girl was bedridden. He may take him to visit. Oh yeah. Who? I also said the father was raped as a child. Oh, Jesus. Ronnie Sr. was raped as a child. Not Ronnie Sr., Ronnie, the father, the murderer, was raped as a child. I was actually thinking that too. I said the families on both sides might be, maybe unhealthy and inappropriate. You know what I mean? They may have a lot of shit going on with both sides of that family, which is why they weren't able to take him. Not that they didn't want to, they may have, issues that they couldn't take them. Wow. By family members. Okay, now that makes more sense. So depending on okay, because just like you can't be a foster parent if you have felonies and all that kind of like a bad record, and you can't get clearances like a child clearance and all of that. So maybe that could be the reason. Wow. Is it possible for a child to escape genetics? He may have to fight hard against those demons. It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Thank God it's possible. But and however, he's gonna have to work hard not to not to end up like that. Well, if he's gonna end up with a mental illness, there's nothing he can do about that. Oh, Linda, get on that girl. We got to find out. If he's gonna end up developing a mental illness, it's nothing anybody can do about it. But now that you tell him, now that we know that the father was molested and traumatized, that has nothing to do with genetics. You know what I mean? That's something that happened in nature, out in the, through the nurturing, through the environment. But look at the trauma that little Ronnie has experienced that he'll never forget. Oh Lord have mercy. That's gonna be tough. I don't care. That's just gonna be difficult. That is just gonna be difficult to love him and bring him to adulthood with that amount of trauma. When he was 5, wow. And so the molestation could have lasted for years. Right. Because Ronnie does seem to me to have some sort of like splitting in his personality. So not only was he psychotic, he probably has some form of personality disorder. Ugh. So felons can't adopt or become foster parents, right? No. Why are they allowed to reproduce? Because that is their God-given right. We can't go back to the days of mandatory birth control, unfortunately, because woo, we can't do that because we start with the felons and then they'll say, well, you know what? Short people shouldn't be able to have babies, and people with lower intelligence shouldn't be able to have babies. So we just cannot do that because it opens up Pandora's box. And then we may fit into one of those categories. So that is why if you're able to do the nasty, you might be able, you can have a baby, regardless if you could take care of it or not. So Ronnie O'Neal may go into prison. He ain't a bad looking man. He really is not. When he cut off that fucked up hair, he might go to prison, get on medication. Next thing you know, one of the female CEOs fall in love with him and get pregnant, and now we got another Ronnie on the way. Absolutely. I ain't mad at mandatory birth control for some folks. I'm not. I would like for them to like voluntarily do it because we can't, if we mandate it, then it just opens up the door for government or whoever to make decisions about that for people. Yes, it will be considered inhumane. Yep. Yep. I know. I'm telling you, Ronnie O'Neal might get in prison, get himself a girlfriend. He ain't ugly. True. And you know how these let me tell you something else. I don't know who these women are, but I guarantee you he gonna get fan mail in prison. Ronnie O'Neal will get fan mail in prison. Absolutely. Absolutely. And hey, might even find himself a relationship. These people are crazy. And so will the guy, what's his name who killed George Floyd? Chavez. There? Yeah. He'll get fan mail too. Ronnie ain't terrible looking. Uh-huh. They'll get fan mail. They sure will. Like, he is not bad looking for crazy stuff. No, Maureen, don't look at the pictures of him with that hair. When his hair was short, he had waves. The night of the murder. That's why on my thumbnail I put the nice looking Ronnie and the crazy looking Ronnie. Cause I'm like, people wonder, like, the girl, who he murdered, his girlfriend, she was a pretty girl. So if you look at him in prison, you'll think, like, why was she even looking at him? No, he was a nice looking man. So he's gonna get fan mail and he's gonna get money on his books. Oh, okay, Marin. He's gonna get fan mail. He is nice looking. That's why I use both of his pictures, because when he looked nice and he was keeping himself together, he probably, maybe he was on medication, maybe he was better. Because somebody said, I read in some of the comments that they thought maybe he was on drugs, but a drug psychotic moment don't last that long. Like, he's still psychotic. The whole family, they were beautiful. Yes. The whole family was. Oh, hi, Carolyn's back. The whole family was. They were nice looking. They were a beautiful family. And the crime scene pictures, oh my God, Jesus. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at my thumbnail. At the bottom of the picture, the big picture, which was him looking ridiculous. The small picture of him, even the night of the murder, where his clothes were drenched in blood, he was not ugly. Which proved, like, when he wasn't psychotic, he could keep himself together. Hmm. He could pull off being an okay looking guy. Now, the night he murdered, I don't know if he took drugs or not, but I know that man is still psychotic. And the fact that they let him testify, I mean, defend himself, is so racist. And the fact that they even used his son, brought his son in to testify, that was wrong. They did not need that son's testimony to convict him. So they re-traumatized that little kid again. It was a setup. Like, how dare you? I said, why did they didn't need that man's, they did not need that little boy's testimony. And did you hear how the little boy, Ronnie, said, "Hi, son, good to see you." And the son said, "Nice to see you too." Oh, oh, my God. These people, unbelievable. They just re-traumatized. And all the 3 years of therapies that kid has had, all wasted. Now you starting all over again because the trauma, you just re-traumatized them. So let's start all over again. But that's the system. That is the system. They do it every time, especially the children. I was so happy that the kid was not there. He was probably in that building, but he wasn't right there. Like, he was in a remote location, which was in that building, but he wasn't right there. Yeah, with the short hair. That's Ronnie. That's Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie was not, he was normal. He was normal. They had a decent life. They really did. But I just don't know what's going on with both sides of the family that nobody could take Ronnie Jr. That burns me up. That really burns me up. Well, I'm sure there was a lot of caseworkers and therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists and everyone else who made that decision, but I don't know. These people would have to be monsters, you know what I mean, for them not to allow Ronnie Jr. to be raised by his family. So it's just weird. It's weird, but Linda and I are on it, and we will get we will get back to you when we find out the answer because we want to know. We really want to know. We really, really, really want to know because I've seen grandmas take their grandkids. Like it is no way my grandkids is going in the system. Does trauma really ever go away? Is it suppressed, forgotten, or ignored? I think all three. It doesn't go away because you can like repress it, suppress it, try to forget about it, but any little thing can bring it back. I know when I work with women who have been raped, what the one thing that makes them recall the rape is smell. Because if the rapist like smoked Newports or had alcohol or just a smell, like they could go years without thinking about the rape, but then if they smell like the Newport cigarette or or Dracar cologne or whatever, it'll bring them back to the trauma and the rape. Linda, that's our homework. I really got to know. I'm nosy enough to try to figure out the detective's name and if he still worked for the same if he's still working at the prison, at the police station, he got to have an email address. We gonna find out. It's PTSD, yeah, PTSD. So I don't think trauma goes away, but you will recall it. You absolutely recall it. And a little, I don't know, it's just anything could make you, remember it. So this little boy, he can be, grow up to be 30 years old and I don't know, anything might trigger it for him. He was a corporal, a corporal. Oh yeah, he got an email address then. You know what I mean? Mhm. So you work hard. That's why a lot of people who have PTSD, they have panic attacks oftentimes because um they could somehow relive the trauma or get re-triggered by a smell or a taste or whatever. But smell is one of the main senses that will re-trigger trauma. The smell. Yep. So whatever smells that was in that house that night when all of that happened, like even like the smell of smoke. I know people who lived through a fire, like they cannot tolerate the smell of smoke because it brings it back. They did say his name. I'm so mad. I just erased all of those videos from my playlist. They did say his name. He kind of overweight and he has on like a green suit. I remember that from the video because there's a video with just him talking about what he saw, the detective. I went through that with the death of my mom. I watched her die. Yeah. Mhm. Like any smell, like your mom had, that'll bring back the trauma. Absolutely. Hmm. But in psychology, we teach people like to replace those sad thoughts, negative thoughts. Like, 'cause sometimes we could get caught up in a negative thought or a sad thought, like replace it with good memories, of your mom when she was healthy and alive, and not focus on like the last moments of her life when she transitioned. And thank God you were with her. You were with her when she transitioned. Girl, I had all the videos. I had when they arrested Ronnie, right down to when they did his verdict, because I was doing my video. And so I was watching all of them and I had took clips from them. You know what? Watch my video. I think I did put the clip in from the detective that adopted little Ronnie. I think maybe in my video I put that clip in. I gotta look. Yeah, I just took them out of my playlist. I don't the video. Oh, it's the last video that I did on my page. It's the last video I did. Girl, it's a big old picture of Ronnie O'Neal and that ridiculous hair. You'll see it. That's the last video I uploaded. What I call it? Schizophrenic, psychotic. I forget what I named it. Yeah. Is there a way not to traumatize our children, or is it up to the individual? Oh my God. I wish it was these kids today, girl. No, it's not. You can't you can't prevent some things from happening. Obviously, as a parent, unless the parent is hurting the child and traumatizing the child, that's one thing. But things that happen out in the world, you can't prevent it. You can't prevent an accident. You can't prevent, someone hurting your child at school or, at a friend's house. You just got to do your best to protect your children and not put them. How did I miss the video? Oh, it's the last one I did. It's the last video I did. I'm about to do like 3 more videos sometime tonight. Y'all know I'll be up all night long. I'm probably gonna drop 3 more videos. I just gotta get 3 wigs out because I want to do different looks, y'all. I'm gonna get 3 wigs, 3 different shirts, and I'm about to bust these 3 videos out tonight. Thank you, Linda. But that's all I had. I was just wanting to talk about the George Floyd verdict and Mr. Ronnie. I don't want to. I'm got to say it, Mr. Crazy Ronnie O'Neal, because the man is crazy. Oh Lord! But you know what? We can learn for so much from him. That's why, as psychologists, psychiatrists, clinicians, even though it's really difficult to deal with situations like this, like if I worked at that prison, I would want him to be my client because we want to learn what happened in his life as a child that led up to the night he murdered his family. Because, like, what Tamika said, how can we prevent traumatizing our children? And so, if he disclosed that he was molested, then absolutely we know that that traumatizes kids. So then we're going to work harder to make sure our kids tell if they are being molested. Make sure that our kids have information. Make sure our kids know how to, protect themselves. And you know what I mean? So there's so much we can learn from Ronnie just in a way to help prevent him or people like him from hurting other people in the future. You know? So, yes, Linda and I will be working on that situation, and we're going to figure this out. But I hope somebody will, like a psychologist, they will, because they're always trying to, figure out the brain, especially like when Ronnie O'Neal dies. Let me tell you, these colleges will be fighting over that brain, especially like Penn State, Howard University, Yale. They're going to fight to get the brain of a Ronnie O'Neal to look at and see what, is there lesions on certain parts of that brain that we can look at, and maybe in the future we can remove those lesions from like a little kid's brain so that they don't turn out like a Ronnie O'Neal. I love that shit. Oh yeah, he has the mental disability, but where is the trauma in that brain? See, we need to cut that head open. I we need that brain. Oh yeah. I've been trying to get, I told my dean that I wanted to have a real life brain, that I was trying to get, a brain to bring to my class. And them people told me I couldn't bring no real human brain. I could my dean didn't say it, but another professor was telling me like, no, you can't. You got to get like the brain of a cow. Not a cow or something like that that looks just like a human brain. But I wanted a real human brain. Because people donate their different parts of their body or whatever. Why do I want a human brain? Because I really want to compare like a healthy, a brain that is not like a normal brain compared to like a brain of a serial killer or somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia. I wanted like two different brains. Because if I died in a car accident yesterday, um my brain could still be my brain would be still intact and good. So I would donate it, to science, and that's how I would get the brain. No, why can't you bring it in? Oh, why can't I bring it in? I don't know. He said that we can't get a real human brain. We have to use a cow's brain. And I could go to a butcher shop and ask for that. And he said you can't tell the difference. Another professor told me that you can't really tell the difference. I don't know. Probably because I'm not at Yale. I'm sure at Yale or Harvard, they have a real human brain in their psychology classes. Uh-huh. Yeah, so no. But yes, very interesting. We will stay on this case and figure out a little bit more about Ronnie O'Neal and what's happening with him. Um, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm more interested in that brain after death, really, to see what it looks like. But I will leave you all with that. Thank you. It was very interesting tonight. I appreciate everyone coming in. Look for my next videos. Let me get myself together because I am going to be dropping. Let me see, my next 3 videos I'm doing on, because I want to do something for Pride. So I don't know if do you guys watch the Batty Twins? They're mukbangers. They're identical twins and they're gay. And so for Pride Month, I'm going to talk about them. Because believe it or not, people still think that homosexuality is a mental illness. So I want to talk about that. The cow is not psycho. They say the brains look just alike. They say the brains look alike. I don't want a cow brain. I want a human. Ugh. Ugh. People donate they donate their body. So no, Linda, you were fine. Thank you so much. So that's it. That's all. But thank you guys. Look for my next few videos that'll be coming out over the next few days. I appreciate everyone coming in, even those of you in the bushes. Thank you. See you next time.